So let's start with you, Robert. You know, the old political adage is that Democrats fall in love, Republicans fall in line. It seems that this year that's being turned on its head with Democrats falling in line and Republicans having the opportunity to fall in love. What do you think?
Well, Victor, I don't want to disillusion you, but we're really not that organized.
Okay.
The reality is, if you look at the remarkable support that Hillary Clinton has on the grassroots level of our party, you see the incredible crowds of young women and young men coming out. And she's running now approximately 50% higher than her nearest Democratic competitor. It speaks to the fact that on the grassroots level, the Democratic Party is very much in love. And it's a romance that gets better and better over the years. So there's a lot of it, and it's a stark contrast from what you see with the Republicans. As they campaign around the country, attacking each other, attacking Hillary Clinton, they're like an advertisement for anger management therapy. And I think it's a very important distinction to draw.
Let me come to you, Lisa, with this. Senator Marco Rubio expected to throw his hat into the ring on Monday. He released a 5-minute video ahead of this, quote, big announcement. We've got part of it here. Watch.
For me, America isn't just a country. It's the place that literally changed the history of my family. It's a nation of equal opportunity. It's the most powerful force for good that the world has ever known. This is the America that welcomed my parents. And so now I know that every chance I have ever had and everything that I will ever accomplish, I owe to God, to my parents' sacrifices, and to the United States of America.
So a pull on the heartstrings there from Marco Rubio, full of the muzak and the strings and the piano all there. The conservative candidates often say that the party should go with its heart and not just the cynical who can beat the Democrat. Do you think that is an opportunity that can be taken by Marco Rubio?
Well, look, Victor, I think Marco Rubio does have this, phenomenal American dream story to tell. But I think what you're highlighting is the fact that Republicans have a very deep bench right now. We've got, sitting governors, sitting senators that all could potentially be running for the Republican nomination. But the problem that Democrats have is that, this coronation with Hillary Clinton is going to prove problematic for them because, look, not only is she a polarizing figure, which is something that David Axelrod has admitted to, but her candidacy is going to be marred in scandal. When she goes to Iowa, when she goes to New Hampshire, she's going to be asked questions about her email server. She's going to be asked questions about why she wiped it clean. She's going to be asked questions about Benghazi. She's going to be asked questions about the Clinton Foundation. And that is, she's not going to be able to escape those questions. But the biggest problem for her, Victor, is the fact that those scandals are catching up for her. And that is what we saw in the Quinnipiac poll, is that those scandals are catching up to her in states like Iowa. They're catching up to her in states like Colorado and Virginia. No, Robert, let me finish. But
let her finish. We'll come to you in just a second, Robert.
No, those scandals are catching up to her. Voters do not find her trustworthy. They do not believe her anymore, and they do not think she's an honest person.
All right, let's go to Robert. Go ahead.
Lisa, here's the bigger problem for you. They're not scandals. And the question raising of all, excuse me.
Well, let him finish now. Lisa, let him finish
now. My point. The questions you're asking, the scandals you're alluding to, they've already been investigated by congressional committees led by Republicans that, in fact, have exonerated Hillary Clinton. And the bigger issue here, Lisa, is that your soliloquy you just delivered is really a perfect illustration of why the Republicans have lost the vote in 5 of the 6 last presidential elections going back to 1992. Because not once did you articulate a new idea for the Republican Party or an agenda for the future. In fact, quite to the contrary, the Republican Party you're describing is one that relates more to the 1950s with their advocacy of discrimination against the gay and lesbian community or limiting voting rights or denying that climate change and science exists or advocating deportation of undocumented workers. That reflects a Republican Party out of touch with the mainstream of America.
How can you possibly say that Democrats are representing the future when Hillary Clinton has been running for a decade, when the middle-class families are the ones who've been suffering under President Obama, when Hillary Clinton, as a senator, paid female staffers 72 cents of the dollar to men? So how can you possibly say that Democrats represent the future when Hillary Clinton has been running for a decade. When she represents the past, she does not represent the future. She doesn't represent the future of this country. And she shouldn't represent the future of the Democrat Party.
We got to wrap
it up.
If
you guys are in trouble, she does.
Okay. We got to wrap it up. 10 seconds to Robert.
Thank you, Victor.
Okay, very simply, Lisa, if you want to see the future of America, then you come with me to a Hillary Clinton rally as my guest, and you see the young women and young men who are there. You'll see the future.
Trouble,
You're my
Robert.
guest for that.
Democrats are in serious trouble if you think she's the future of your party.
All right, Lisa Booth, Robert Zimmerman, thank you both. Lively conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Victor.